Welcome back, students. So, in this chapter we discussed about electrical energy can be converted to magnetic energy, or when electrical energy is passing through a conductor, it can produce a magnetic field around it. In the first chapter we discussed about, or we studied about, electrical energy can be converted to heat energy and light energy. Then in the second chapter we discussed about when current is passing through a conductor, it creates a magnetic field around the conductor. So, here we will discuss when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will experience a force, or electrical energy can be converted to mechanical energy. So, how we can convert this electrical energy to mechanical energy, that we will discuss in this video. Okay. That is, when current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. So, what is the reason for that force experienced by a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field? So, here this is an activity. So, here we need to consider a horseshoe magnet, then a aluminum rod, then you have to connect, or you have to hang this aluminum rod with the help of copper wire, and the two ends of this copper wire are connected to a battery. The two ends of this copper wire are connected to a battery. Then, so a support is given here to hold this aluminum rod. So, this is the activity. So, we have taken a horseshoe magnet and an aluminum rod, and we will hang this aluminum rod on a support with the help of copper wires, and the two ends of this copper wires are connected to a battery. So, the current will flow from the battery, that is from the positive terminal of the battery through the copper wire. Here a switch is placed here, so that we can off and on the circuit. So, this one is a switch. Okay. So, from the positive terminal, when the switch is in the on condition, the current will flow from the positive terminal of the battery to the copper wire, through the copper wire. Then it will reach the aluminum rod. We can name it as AB. This side is A, this side is B. From A to B, again from the side B, it will pass through this copper wire and reaches the negative terminal of the battery. Okay. So, the circuit is complete and the current flows through the circuit. So, when current passes through a copper wire or aluminum rod, a current is passing through an aluminum rod. It is in a straight aluminum rod. So, it creates a magnetic field. It creates a magnetic field in the form of concentric circles. So, the aluminum rod will create a magnetic field in the form of concentric circles. Then, this permanent magnet or this horseshoe magnet will produce a magnetic field, or the horseshoe magnet has its own magnetic field. So, two magnetic field will be here. One is produced by the current carrying conductor. One magnetic field is produced by the current carrying conductor, and the second one is produced by the horseshoe magnet. So, two magnetic field will be here. One is produced by the current carrying conductor, that is the AB. That conductor will produce a current, a magnetic field when current flows through it. That is, current carrying conductor AB will produce a magnetic field in the form of concentric circles when current passes through it. Second magnetic field is produced by the horseshoe magnet. Second magnetic field is produced by the horseshoe magnet. So, that is a permanent one. Okay, the horseshoe magnet will produce a permanent magnetic field. Okay. So, the interaction between these two magnetic field produces a force on this conductor AB, and due to that force, that conductor will move either to the left or to the right. Okay. So, two magnetic field will be here. Due to the interaction between the two magnetic field, this conductor AB will experience a force, and due to that force, that conductor AB will move either to the left or to the right. Either to the left or move towards the right. Okay. So, here the experimental setup is like this. You have to consider a horseshoe magnet and an aluminium rod. You have to hang this aluminium rod with the help of a stand, or we need to give a support. Then we will take two copper wire. So, we will tie this aluminium rod with copper wire. Then one end of this copper wire is connected to a switch, then to the positive of the battery. The other copper wire, one end of it is already connected to the point B, the other end we will connect to the negative terminal of the battery. So, when you switch the circuit on, the current will flow from the positive terminal of the battery through the copper wire, through this rod AB, and reaches the negative terminal of the battery. So, the circuit is complete. So, when current flows through this aluminium rod AB, that will produce a magnetic field in the form of concentric circles. Then, one more magnetic field is there, that is produced by the horseshoe magnet. So, the horseshoe magnet will produce a permanent magnetic field. Okay. So, two magnetic fields will be there. One is due to the current carrying conductor, and second one is due to the horseshoe magnet. So, the interaction between these two magnetic fields will create a force, and due to that force, the current carrying conductor move either to the left or to the right, depends upon the attraction or repulsion due to the magnetic field. So, the interaction between the two magnetic field produces a force on the current carrying conductor, due to which the conductor move either to the left or to the right, that depends upon the attraction or repulsion due to the magnetic field. Since this horseshoe magnet is not moving, because it is a permanent one, it is a stationary. Horseshoe magnet can't move, so the conductor will move. Okay. Here the horseshoe magnet is not moving, it is a stationary one, so the conductor will move. Okay. So, that is a activity, experimental setup. So, when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. That is a working principle of electric motor. Okay. So, electric motor is a device that converts electrical energy to mechanical energy. So, the working principle of electric motor is when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. So, current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field that is placed in a magnetic field. So, two magnetic fields will be there. Due to the interaction between the two magnetic fields, there will be a force on the conductor, and due to that force, the conductor will move. Okay. Since this horseshoe magnet can't move, it is a stationary one, the aluminum rod or the conductor will move either to the left or to the right. Okay. So, this one you can see, this is a two poles of a permanent magnet, one is the north pole and the south pole. You can see that the direction of magnetic field line is from north to south. So, north to south, direction of magnetic field lines is from north to south. Then the current, in which direction the current is moving. Here the current is flowing from A to B. The current is flowing from A to B. Now, we can find the direction of force with the help of Fleming's left hand rule. We can find the direction of force, in which direction the conductor moves, that with the help of Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, that we will discuss. Okay. Now, what are the factors that depends upon the force experienced by a current carrying conductor? Okay, what are the what are the factors that affect the force produced by a current carrying conductor? So, first one, this is when you increase the magnetic field, means if you increase the current through the conductor, then amount of magnetic field also increases. Okay. So, we can increase the current. If we increase the current, then the force experienced by the current carrying conductor is more. So, three factors are there that depends upon the force experienced by a current carrying conductor, that is magnitude of force, so the equation is F equal to I B L sin theta. This equation to find magnetic force experienced by a current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field. Okay. So, if we increase the current, then the force will also increase. If we increase the magnitude of current, then the force will also increase. Then, if you increase the magnetic field, then also the force will increase. If you increase the length of this conductor, then also the force will increase. Okay. So, a solenoid means it is a copper wire insulated in the form of a cylinder or helix, that is known as a solenoid. So, here it is having less number of turns. Less number of turns means the length of the wire is less. Okay. If you increase the number of turns, means we can increase the length of the wire. We are increasing the length of the wire. So, if you increase the number of turns of the solenoid, that means the length of that coil also increases. Okay. So, if you consider a aluminum rod, of more length, then it will produce a force in higher amount, or the amount of force produced will be more. Okay. So, in electric motor we are not using in the we are not using a straight wire. Okay. We are not using the straight wire, we are using a solenoid one, okay, in a cylindrical way. Okay. So, three methods are there to increase the force experienced by a current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field. If you increase the magnitude of current, then the force will increase. If you increase the strength of the magnetic field, then also the force will increase. If you increase the length of the conductor, then also the force will increase. Now, in which way we can change the direction of this force? In which way we can change the direction of the force? So, you know, when current passes through a, when the current is reversed, when current passes through a conductor is reversed, the magnetic field direction also get reversed. Okay, the magnetic field's direction also get reversed. So, two methods are there to change the direction of force. First one, if you change the direction of the current. If you change the direction of the current, then the direction of magnetic field also changes. That means the force will, the direction of force also changes. So, if you change the direction of electric current flowing through a conductor, then the field, magnetic field produced by that conductor also changes. Hence, the direction of force also changes. Second method, if you change the direction of the magnetic field, then the direction of force also changes. Okay, then the direction of force also changes. So, two methods are there to change the direction of force. First one, to change the direction of current. Second method, to change the direction of magnetic field. Then three methods are there to increase or decrease the amount of force produced by a current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field. First one, increase or decrease the magnitude of the current. Second one, increase or decrease the magnitude of the magnetic field. Third one, increase or decrease the length of the conductor. Okay. So, now we can find here, no need of deriving this equation, only the final equation we need to study. So, here we can write it like this. Here theta, I wrote an equation like this, F equal to I B L sin theta. Theta is the angle between the current carrying conductor and the magnetic field. Theta is the angle between the current carrying conductor and the magnetic field. I will tell you, if I consider a rectangular current carrying conductor, if I consider a rectangular current carrying conductor, A, B, C and D, this one is a north pole, this one is a south pole. The current is flowing in this direction. The current is flowing in this direction. The magnetic field is from north to south. Magnetic field is from north to south. That is, magnetic field direction I will draw with another color pen like this. This is the direction of magnetic field. It's the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Direction of current I will draw with this one. It's the direction of current. It's the direction of current. Okay. So, current entering and leaving from this rectangular coil. Now, this angle here, the angle between the direction of current and the direction of magnetic field, here it is 90 degree and here it is 0 degree. The angle between the direction of current and the direction of magnetic field. Okay, that is the angle between the direction of current carrying conductor and the direction of magnetic field. When we consider this portion AB, the angle is 90 degree, and when we consider this BC portion, that angle is 0 degree. So, we know sine, you will study the trigonometric values. So, sine 90, that is equal to 1. Sine 90 is 1 and sine 0 is equal to 0. So, F equal to IBL sine 90, that is equal to IBL into 1 is equal to IBL. If you want to remember it easily, I will write it BIL, B-I-L. Okay. So, if the angle between the current carrying conductor and the magnetic field is 90 degree, that means it will experience a maximum force. So, this force will be maximum. Maximum force will be experienced by the current carrying conductor when it is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field. If the current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will experience a force and the amount of that force will be maximum if it is placed perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. If the current carrying conductor is placed perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, then the force experienced by the conductor will be maximum, and 0 when it is placed parallel to the magnetic field. So, F equal to IBL sine 0, that is equal to IBL into 0, that is equal to 0. Okay. So, this portion, this BC portion will not experience any force. This BC portion will not experience any force, only AB and the CD portion will experience force. Okay. Only AB and CD portion will experience force, that BC portion will not experience any force. Now, we need to find the direction of force, in which direction the force is acting. That we can find out by using Fleming's left hand rule. So, stretch the 3 fingers of your left hand in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Means the angle between all the 3 angles, means the angle between the forefinger and the middle finger is 90 degree. Angle between the thumb and the forefinger is 90 degree. So, stretch the forefinger, middle finger, thumb in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Then, the forefinger will represent the direction of magnetic field. Forefinger will represent the direction of magnetic field. Then the middle finger will represent the direction of current. Middle finger will represent the direction of current. Then the thumb will give you the direction of force. So, when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will experience a force. And what is the direction of the force, or in which direction the force is acting? That we can find out using Fleming's left hand rule. Stretch the three fingers of your left hand, that is thumb, forefinger, middle finger, in such a way that they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Then the forefinger will represent the direction of magnetic field. Then the middle finger will represent the direction of current, and the thumb will give you the direction of force, or in which direction the conductor moves. In which direction the conductor moves. That is given by the thumb. Okay. That is known as Fleming's left hand rule. So, in this figure, we will find the direction of magnetic field is given, the direction of current is also given. So, we will find the direction of force, in which direction the force is acting. Okay. Here you can see the magnetic field is from north to south direction. Okay. The magnetic field is in the north to south direction, that is in this direction. The magnetic field is in this direction, north to south. So, you will keep your forefinger in the direction of magnetic field, north to south. Then, in which direction the current is? The current is moving into the board. Into the board the current is moving, means the current is moving away from you. So, you will turn this middle finger away from you. Turn it like this. Okay. So, north to south direction, that is the direction of magnetic field, it is represented by the forefinger. The middle finger will represent the direction of current. So, in which direction the thumb points? The thumb points in the downward direction. Means the force will be acting in the downward direction. Force will be acting in the downward direction. Okay. A question is there in your textbook. Example 13.2. An electron enters a magnetic field at right angles to it, as shown in the figure. The direction of force acting on this electron, in which direction the force will be acting. So, this is a diagram. This is the diagram. An electron is entering to a enters a magnetic field at right angles to it, as shown in the figure. The direction of force acting on the electron will be. Okay. So, electron is moving in this direction, downwards. Okay. So, in which direction the current? Actually, the current is taken just opposite to the direction of electron flow. If the electron is flowing in the downward direction, then the current will be moving in the upward direction. So, we take the direction of electric current is in the upward direction. That is the direction of electric current. Conventionally, we will take current is in from positive terminal to negative terminal, that is just opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay. So, the current is moving in the upward direction. Okay. So, magnetic field in this direction, magnetic field is in this direction, current flow in the upward direction, current flow in the upward direction. So, in which direction the thumb will denote? in which direction the thumb represents, or so the thumb is in the downward direction. The thumb is in the downward direction. So that means into the page. If you consider your notebook, then the thumb will be, if I consider this one, magnetic field direction is in this way, current is in the upward direction. So the thumb will point in the downward direction, that is into the page. Into the page. Then blue questions. Blue question first one, page number 231. 231, blue question, page number 231. Okay, which of the following property of a proton can change while it moves freely in a magnetic field? Okay, so the options are mass, speed, velocity and momentum. Which one is the correct answer? So, when a charged particles enters a magnetic field, it moves in a circular path with constant speed. When a charged particle enters a magnetic field, it will move in a circular path in which the speed will remain constant. So, when a charged particle enters at right angles to a magnetic field, it will move in a circular path with constant speed, means the speed is not changing. So, if the speed is not changing means the velocity will be changing. Okay. The velocity will be changing, means circular path. Speed is not changing, but at all time or at all instant of time, the direction will be changing. So, velocity will be changing. Okay, velocity will be changing. So, velocity will be changing. Then we know the equation momentum. P is equal to m into v. So, if velocity is changing, definitely momentum will also change. Okay. So, two options are there, that is the correct one, velocity and momentum. The explanation is, when a charged particle enters a magnetic field at right angles, it moves in a circular path with constant speed. Okay. But the direction at each point will be changing. So, its velocity is changing. So, if velocity is changing, momentum, that is the product of mass and velocity. So, momentum will also change. Okay. Then, one important point, no force will be acting on a charge when moving parallel to magnetic field. No force will be acting on a charge when it is moving parallel to the magnetic field. It will experience a force only if it is moving right angles or at an angle. Not right angles, it will experience a maximum force. Okay. Then no force will be acting on charge when it is at rest in a magnetic field. If it is not moving in a magnetic field, then it will not experience any force. The second question, in activity 13.7, how do you think the displacement of the rod AB will be affected if the current in the rod AB is increased, a stronger horseshoe magnet is used and length of the rod AB is increased? I told you three methods are there to increase the force experienced by a current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field. If we increase the current, then the force experienced by that conductor will be more. Second one, if we increase the strength of the magnetic field, then also it will experience more force. Then if we increase the length of that conductor AB, then also the force experienced by that conductor will be more. So the answer is, when the current in a road AB is increased, the force experienced by the conductor increases and displacement of the road increases. When a stronger horseshoe magnet is used, the magnitude of the magnetic field increases and the displacement of the road increases. Means magnitude of magnetic field increases means it will experience more force, and due to that force the displacement of the road will be more. When the length of the road AB is increased, force experienced by the conductor increases, then the displacement of the road also increases. Okay. Then third question, a positively charged particle projected towards west direction is deflected towards north by a magnetic field. The direction of magnetic field will be that you have to find out. A positively charged alpha particle is projected towards west and is deflected towards north by magnetic field. So if I draw a diagram like this, east, west, north, south I will draw. This one is the east direction, west direction, north, south direction. So in which direction the alpha particle is projected? Alpha particle is projected in this direction, west direction. Alpha particle is projected in that direction. Okay. Alpha particle is projected in that direction. Then in which direction the force is experienced? The force is experienced in the north direction. Force is experienced in the north direction. We need to find the direction of the magnetic field. We need to find the direction of the magnetic field. So the direction of proton, that is positively charged particle, is taken as the direction of conventional current. Okay. We take the direction of conventional current just opposite to the direction of flow of electrons. Electrons are having negative charge. So the direction of positive charge is considered to be the direction of electric current. So here we consider the direction of electric current is in the west direction, and that proton, that positively charged particle, is deflected towards north by a magnetic field. So the force experienced by the positively charged particle is in the north direction. So direction of motion of the positively charged particle is taken as the direction of conventional current, that is in the direction of west, that is in the west direction. That particle will experience a force in the north direction and it is deflected towards the north. So the direction of force is towards the north. Now stretch your 3 fingers, forefinger, thumb, forefinger, middle finger of your left hand in such a way that force is acting in the north direction. Force is acting in the north direction. Okay. Then the current is acting in the west direction. the current is acting in the west direction. Okay, the current is acting in the west direction. So, in which direction the forefinger represents? The forefinger points in the upward direction. The forefinger points in the upward direction. So, that is the direction of the magnetic field. That is the direction of the magnetic field. Okay. So, the answer is upward direction. Okay. So, this is a working principle of electric motor. A force experienced by a current carrying conductor when placed in a magnetic field. Okay. Thank you.